It's another edition of Lunch Bytes from the Website 101 podcast. This is the live YouTube thing we do every first and third Wednesday of the month at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm Mike Mello, one of your co-hosts. She's Amanda Lutz, and Sean is unavailable today, so it's just the two of us. Amanda, I know you have allergies. How are you? I have allergies too, actually, lately, but I can't imagine how bad it is for you.
Like a bag of garbage. They kicked up last night. I took pills and it wanted to keep me awake. I had to close windows and turn on air purifiers and lay certain ways in a Kleenex box beside my head. And I think I was awake until probably about 2 a.m. Yeah, it was. Remember when we were young and staying up till 2 a.m. was no big deal?
Yeah,
Either
it was
because
fun.
you were having fun or because you were grinding out code or even just watching something on TV. And now it's like, if I'm not in my jammies by 10:30,
Yeah.
I start to get a bit cranky.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I hear you. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thanks.
I woke up earlier than I wanted to today, but I guess I wasn't that bad. Could have been worse.
Yeah, but that's also not fun. I don't like it when that happens either.
Yeah. Everyone in my house has been sick for the past week. So,
Oh no.
yeah. And I got a vaccine recently, as I mentioned to you once before. And then I had all these bad, what do you call them? Symptoms. Is there a
Reaction.
word for it? Reaction. There you go.
Yeah.
For 2 days, hit me pretty hard. Anyway, whatever. That's got nothing to do with the web.
It has nothing to do with the web.
So
But it
anything you
does.
want to, oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, but being sleepy and allergy, it does make me cranky, which makes me just want to complain about everything. And just, why does web development need to be so overly complicated anymore?
Yeah.
Between the content management systems and the front end frameworks and the configuration that needs to be happening and adding the Google Analytics and the tag manager. And I've just found out that one of the major sites, even though it's got the code for 2 different Google Analytics tag manager codes, neither of them are showing up. And apparently I installed some tag assistant Chrome extension, and apparently it's because the content security policy needs to be updated, and I'd like to add the domains to all of these different values in the content security policy, and it's just
Yeah.
just. And then also it's this has been set up for years. Why am I just hearing about it now? It's all that makes me feel old and curmudgeon-y and just cantankerous and complaining about everything.
Yeah, because you and I are old enough to remember when you would make a change on a website on your own machine and then open FileZilla and copy all of the HTML files and drag them onto the live site. Presto,
Yep.
You're done. Can't do that anymore. That you get burned at the stake if you try that.
Yep. Now we've got multiple dev environments and approval processes and
Git deployments. Yeah.
pipelines and deployment scripts. And we had a problem with a different project lately where because there's multiple pipelines that happen, one of the pipelines stopped working. Just straight up failed. And so I got, for literally 2 months, pulled into bi-weekly meetings trying to figure out what was going on. And I'm it's a server issue. I'm not server admin. Somebody else needs to figure that out. But between this group of people who kept having to meet on a regular basis, there was one person who was a server admin, but who didn't have access to the dashboard to be able to make modifications. So we had to get another person who had access to the dashboard, but didn't have SSH access to the server. So we had to have another person who had access to that. And then they're trying to modify their own users' permissions, which you can't do, but because nobody had access to root. And I was just like, oh my God. And for another reason, why do I need to be in all of these meetings? Like, I have of nothing of value to add to this. Let me know when you get it figured out so I can keep writing code. It was very
Yeah,
frustrating.
that's the other issue. It's not just that we as developers have a lot of stuff we have to work on. We have to work with other people who have their own responsibilities that affect the web stuff we do.
Yeah.
having a similar situation recently. I did actually where I had to set up like an email form kind of thing from the website so that people can fill out a contact form and sends a notification to them and to someone else, whatever, that stuff.
That
And
used
you
to be
kind of,
so easy to
yeah,
do. It
it
was
was
like a
so easy.
single line in
Yep.
PHP.
PHP did it. That's right.
Yep.
Can't do it with PHP anymore because it all
Nope.
gets flagged as spammers. You'll get blacklisted, etc. So now you have to get it validated by either a service like Mailgun or SendGrid or something, which is complicated enough.
Which is no longer free. And now everything
SendGrid's
you
not
got to
free.
pay. And you've got like a limited number of emails you can send out every month.
Yeah, and they count spam emails as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I've worked with some clients where they have internal email addresses, whatever, at theirplace.com or whatever. And there's often like people running the email server. So I have to liaise with them. And so there's that extra level of complication where you have to go back and forth and it's time consuming and there may be communication issues about what you're trying to accomplish. Yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah. And
There's
then
a lot
and
of
then with all
stuff.
of these services, not only do you have to deal with the person who's creating and managing the emails, but you also have to, like, we were complaining about this, you also have to update like the registrar MX records, and there's already MX records there for this other thing, and
Yeah.
does it overwrite? Does it all work
Yeah.
together? Like, it's
You can't have duplicates. That's right.
yeah, I super blame those jerk hackers. If it weren't for them, if it weren't people spamming to buy
Spammers. Yeah.
male enhancement drugs and the
Yeah.
the fake, hey, you need to update your security, click here so we can do it for you. Like just
Yeah.
everybody go away and just let the websites work
Yeah.
again, please. I
Be
beg
good.
of you.
Let the internet be good, not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking, so sort of on this note, I was going to ask you something I've been thinking about recently. I interacted with a third party, I don't know, whatever it was. I don't even remember what it was. It was a service I needed for my house or something, like a company I had to hire. And they had one of those things on their website that's like, it's like a feedback widget where it's like, how are we doing? Rate us on a 5-star scale, put in comments about whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes I ignore those things. I'm like, I've paid you. I'm not going to also help you improve your business by taking time out of my day like, I rarely post reviews for things like that. But it occurred to me that do people even use them? Like, do the people who put them on their websites, are they taking the information that gets submitted and acting on it somehow? Like, or are they just kind of putting it up as a lip service thing for the client? Like, say the web developer puts it up, here's a feedback widget you can hear, and then eventually they just like ignore everything that comes in. You know what I mean? Do you have any thoughts on
Yeah.
that?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the widget and where the data is going. Like if it's going, like for example, you said it was for something about your house. So I know that like maybe if they're on Jiffy, or maybe if they're on that website House, where you can like actually go and leave feedback to like your contractor and all of the trade services and things. And then other people who go to that site and search it, they can like see, or they're the same thing that's like Yelp or
Yeah.
I think Yellow Pages was trying to do that for a while too. And it's like so maybe it helps them somewhere, but if it's just a form that just gets emailed to like the store manager,
Yeah.
who knows what they do with that information.
So I may have told this story on the show before. I have a dog and I took her to the vet one time. I have a vet that we've been going to for a long time. And they had one of these things after the appointment. They sent me an email saying, how satisfied are you with the appointment? Feedback or whatever. So just for kicks, I filled it out and I put in the comment box, I put an actual meaningful feedback. And then I put, does anyone actually read this? If you do, please include the word pineapple in your response to me.
You're like trying to trick AI.
Yeah. And I got a reply within, I don't know, an hour. And it was like, hey, thanks, Mike. Thanks for your feedback. We're happy to help you in your sweet little pineapple dog's name, sort of thing, with my actual dog's name, didn't say dog's name. Anyway, it was just, I wrote back and I was like, well done. And then she wrote back, haha. So I think it was a real person, pretty sure.
Yeah.
And she did read the thing. So that's good. I mean, sometimes that happens. So presumably when they get negative feedback, they would act on that as well.
Act on it. Well, and I also think it's just like online comments, right? Like the majority of people who are going to leave comments are going to leave something snarky or awful or complain. Right. Same with like way back in the day when you had to, wow, I went really blurry for a second.
The autofocus.
You had to actually write a letter to complain about something, and how many people are more likely to take the effort to complain than to take the effort and be like, well done, continue on. And it's probably the same now. The majority of people are just complaining. It's the same with like the YouTube channel. We've mentioned this before. Like, I don't leave comments on anything. I don't, incredibly, the most rarest instance will I even give a thumbs up, a like on a video. And although you do see the videos that are like, thousands and thousands of thumbs up, you got to assume that if you compare that to the views, then I mean, there's also a lot of other people out there who just consume the content and don't leave any feedback whatsoever. I got to assume most people are like that.
Yeah, I mean, now
that being said, viewer, like and subscribe, leave us a comment.
Put a comment in the thing. They talk about allergies too much.
Yeah, I know. Shut up and get to the tech stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think these days people get fed so much stuff through the algorithms that they don't need to show YouTube or whatever which ones they like by hitting thumbs up. And they just you're going to send me it. I happened to be the other day, I looked up, I was trying to figure out how to eat, those liquid egg whites you can buy in a carton.
Yeah. Yep.
I was like, it's a good way to get protein or whatever. So I bought some of those. And I was like, I don't really like the taste of these things. What's a good way to cook them that's more interesting and faster and whatever? So I looked it up and I found a video or something. And then the next day, my entire YouTube For You page is egg hacks. Ooh, egg, how to use eggs in this. Oh, you like eggs. It's like, Jesus Christ. And I had to shut it all down and say, don't show me this anymore.
No, God, yeah. Yeah, that happens a lot. Speaking of YouTube, though, we're at 139 subscribers. Yay.
Hey, all right.
I wonder if we should do some almost marketing type thing to try to push to get 150.
Oh, yeah. That'd be cool. I've been looking at it to see when it hits 140 just because the round number.
We're one away. I know.
Oh, yeah.
When 150 is
150 would be dynamite.
I don't know.
That's right. Yeah. Multiples of 50, whatever.
We're not great at marketing ourselves anyway.
So I'm going to change the topic here, but speaking of the ranking things on a scale of 1 to 5, these feedback things, I heard of a cool trick that I'd like to try when interacting with AI that can be helpful.
Do share.
I don't know if it works, but I heard that it works well. Let's say you ask ChatGPT or something to perform a task for you and it does something and you're not really happy with the result. Sometimes that happens. It's like, you didn't give me really quite what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You might reply to it and say, okay, that's good, but can you do it again? And whatever, be more detailed or do better this time or think longer or, there's a few different ways you can phrase how you want it to try again. Right.
Yeah.
But those are pretty arbitrary terms, like do better, think longer. What is that? So the little hack I've heard is you can say, hey, AI, how would you rate your execution of this task on a scale of 1 to 10? And then the AI apparently will respond by saying something like, I think I gave you an 8 out of 10 on the task you asked. And then you say, well, on my scale, you did about a 5 out of 10. So please try again, but aim for a 10 out of 10 on my scale, or an 8 out of 10 or whatever. So now what you've done is you've calibrated your expectations with the performance of the AI, and now knows a number. Like, I need to do this much better than I did before, which apparently is much better than just giving it arbitrary terms like think longer.
Yeah.
Right? Again, I haven't tried it. I'm anxious to try it. So if you ever get a bad result from ChatGPT or something, try that.
I've spoken before about my issues with AI. Let me share my screen just for a second, because I think this is very funny. Instead of the entire screen, I'm going to try to just share a tab if I can. It's not here though. This one. I was trying to get help from ChatGPT about something craft related, and I asked it a question and it gave me some code. Like, here's the code up here, and like craft relations. I was like, what? And I'm like, maybe it's something I've never heard of before. And I tried to put it in and it gave me some error message. And I'm like, there isn't a craft relations. Are you guessing or do you know? You're absolutely right to call me on that. There's no craft relations API. And I was like, MF, why are you even telling me? Why would you make this up?
I like the snarky, are you guessing or do you know?
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
Because that was the point I was at that day. Yeah. I was just like, come on.
Let's wait. Oh, it's the last line there said, let's strip this back and see what's actually possible. I think that's what it said. Let's strip it back to what's actually possible in Craft 5. Yeah, good idea. Stick to what's
so instead
in
of
reality,
just making
AI.
stuff up, let's actually, and it was trying to find my Zen place. It was a day.
Although I will say, I had this conversation with some friends of mine a while ago where one of them was talking about, he had a baseball team, I think it was, and they had this enormous rule book of like weird edge cases of things that can happen during a baseball game. And this is the rule when that happens, and they trained an AI on it. They were like, read this rule book. Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to ask you during the game if we need help, what the rule is in this situation, whatever. And for a while it was doing okay, but at one point it gave them an answer that apparently is not at all true, and it's not even in the book. Like, it just made it up. Yeah. And he was saying that he was like on his phone berating the AI, like, I told you you're supposed to only do, and I get that, but at the same time I was thinking, like, imagine if that was a human being and you said, okay, you got to memorize this book. We're going to ask you during the game. You're responsible for it. If they made a mistake, you probably wouldn't be like, you piece of shit, you're fired. You'd just be like, okay, that's a mistake. Let's try to not to have that happen too much. You know what I mean? But for AI, it seems like people expect it to be perfect first time sort of thing.
I get that, but so first of all, not the first time AI has done this to me. Second of all, if I'm talking to you and I think that you're just trying to pull one over on me, I'll call you on it.
Yeah, I don't know if berating would be,
Well, no, maybe your other friend was berating. I don't think that mine was. It was just calling them out. But I would do the same with my kid. It's like, I think that, what is it? So Amy Poehler has a podcast now, because everyone does, and she was talking with Judge Judy. And she said that one of the things that she loved about watching Judge Judy is that whenever Judge Judy will like ask a question and it seems like the answer is just like blatant bullshit, she understands that, because especially in front of a judge, your first instinct is to always like protect yourself, and so maybe even though you know better, maybe you're going to tell a lie, maybe you're going to try to cover your ass, whatever. And Judge Judy apparently does this thing where she's like, I'm going to give you a second chance. Now I want you to think about the answer before you reply. I don't want you to be truthful with me because maybe we're not there quite yet. And then she'll ask the question again. And apparently a lot of the time she gets a different answer, which sounds closer to the truth. So oftentimes I'll do that with my kid too. It's like, whatever I just asked you, I don't think that the answer is completely honest. I don't think that's the whole story. I'm going to ask you again. I would rather you be honest with me and tell me the truth than lie to me and tell me something that you think that I want to hear. Like, let's move forward. Fresh slate. Let's move forward from here. Yeah. And so with my, do you know, or are you just making it up? That's kind of my way of being like, fess up. Like, just come clean.
There's a book that I really like called Never Split the Difference. I may have also mentioned this in the podcast before, but it's written by a FBI hostage negotiator named Chris Voss. And it's like how to negotiate in business situations or whatever, using those tactics. And he has this one tactic called mirroring that he recommends, which is like, so like a friend of mine was telling me about it when he introduced me to the book. And the example he used was, I had gone to the mechanic to fix my car. And he said, yeah, you need new spark plugs. And the mirroring response to that would have been, I should have said to him, spark plugs? And that's it. Just say what he just said. Because apparently psychologically, according to this book, when people are confronted with what they just said, they're compelled to sort of give more information than they did initially. So he might go like, yeah, I mean, it might be spark plugs. It could also be the whatever tension rod, you know what I mean? And they might divulge more. So I wonder if AI, if you were to say, craft.relations, question mark, what would it say? Okay, I made that up. I don't know.
Or it would just make up, it would just hallucinate a whole page of documentation that is absolutely not accurate at all.
Which reminds me of another thing I was going to bring up today. I went to the pub the other day, and there was a band playing, just like a, folk singer type guy. And he told this story in the middle of the set that he looked himself up on ChatGPT. He looked his own name up, like who is, and then his name.
Okay.
And ChatGPT told him this whole story, most of which is true, but some of it is like, he is best known for his single Call of the Wild. And this guy was like, I've never written a song called Call of the Wild, never heard of a song. So he asked it, what's the second verse of Call of the Wild again? Like he asked the AI that. And
Let me guess. Came
and
up with a second verse.
He's now, I think, working on a song called Call of the Wild that AI told him he'd already written. Yeah. And it was an awesome story.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Before we go, I do want to go back to something specifically tech. Remember, so dear viewer, I'm trying to get into Tailwind more. I'm trying to give it a chance. I'm trying to be open-minded. Sean likes it. Mike likes it. I'm trying to see what all of the fuss is about. And so far it's okay. It's, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing revolutionary. I'm having some fun with it. Things are fine. But I found that I'm having a bit of a problem with hovers. Hovers were not working. Remember, I asked you about this and we like compared screens and I'm like, the hover's not working and I don't know what's going on. I found the answer. Pretend I didn't already tell you what it was, Mike. I found the answer and oh boy, is it fucked up.
Yeah.
So, and this is with Tailwind 4. So it's like the most recent. I doubt that anybody, unless they have like a lot of room in their budget, is going to change from an older version of Tailwind to Tailwind 4. Who knows? Yeah. But new projects, I'm sure a lot of people are very excited to use Tailwind 4, whatever. The setup that I have at home, I almost wish I could turn my camera around and show everyone, is that I've got 2 monitors and then I've got my laptop in front. And previously I always had a Microsoft Surface, not always, but I often like to get the Microsoft Surface because it will just stand. The keyboard itself is actually attaches, but with magnets. And so you can take the keyboard off and then it's just a tablet, but it's got a little kickstand on the back. So it doesn't take up all of the space on my desk. because to me, it just feels so gross to like have a laptop that would have the screen and then the keyboard that I'm not using because I like using my full-size keyboard. So I was looking for solutions, looking for answers when it was time for this latest laptop, and I found it, and it's a Dell Inspiron 14 or something like that, and it's considered a 2-in-1. So what happens is you have the laptop and you can open it as a laptop, but then if you keep twisting it, my hands don't bend this way, but if you twist it all the way around backwards so that the outside of the laptop is touching, it will work as a tablet.
Right.
And I
Nice.
was like, okay, fantastic. That's good. It's exactly what I want. It's a laptop for when I'm moving around, and it just takes up a little bit of room on my desk when I'm like actually working with my keyboard and my mouse, etc. Apparently, if you have a 2-in-1 and if you have it bent backwards, they call it tenting, which makes sense. And using an external mouse and keyboard, technically the laptop is still in tablet mode, even though you haven't turned on tablet mode, because there's like a Windows 11 setting. And then therefore, with Tailwind, it won't register any of the hover states.
Oh, so now is it
because hovers don't exist on mobile or on tablets or things like that because it's tap.
Right.
So
Wow.
oh yeah.
I
So
didn't know that part.
yeah. Oh okay. Sorry. I thought I updated
I knew
the Slack
I didn't know
channel.
that it was because of it was interpreting it as a tablet mode. I didn't know that part, like that the touch thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some code that has been supplied by Tailwind or whatever. It's just a couple lines that needs to be added to the CSS. And I mean, obviously I can add that to mine, but hey, Mike, if I go to one of your new Tailwind 4 sites, none of the hover stuff is going to work for me. And it isn't even just like hover to make the background color different. It's literally like if you hover for a mega menu, if you hover like hover on the person's icon so that the menu comes down. If you Tailwind also has other things that it has. What is it? That it almost looks like a pseudo class for something about a group. It's not a pseudo class.
Oh yeah, like the parent thing. You can detect what's happening in the parent to make something happen on the child. Yeah.
A lot of that also is hovered. So it's like any of that is not going to work on my setup because of this tenting thing.
What a stupid, what a terrible way for someone like you who's trying to give it a go and see what the fuss is about, and you encounter this nonsense.
And
That
it's only
sucks.
Tailwind 4. It's not the previous version.
And this obviously doesn't happen with standard CSS. It's
No.
not going to do this even on that device.
No, it's something weird about how Tailwind registers the hover event because of like those like extra pseudo class, like the way it compiles, because when I open the browser dev tools and I select the element and I purposely like force on the hover state, in the elements panel in the bottom part, it will show me the selector for the hover, but it doesn't have any properties in it. So it's totally something weird about the way that it's. Yeah, I found some GitHub issues about it, and it was first reported back in February.
Yeah, so this is a known thing at least.
It's a known
so
thing.
presumably they're working on it. Adam is working on it.
Yeah, but I mean, it is so weird, and it is so edge case, and it is like, I'm sure they've got like a million other things that, take priority over it, but it's so sad that, I mean, I'm obviously not the only person experiencing this, but except for developers, who else is going to have a setup like this,
I guess. And are you saying like this only happens when you flip that thing and have it in tent mode or whatever? When you have it in a regular laptop, it's fine.
When it's a regular laptop, it's fine. And it's something about how when it's tent mode or when it's tented or like in that tablet mode with an external keyboard.
Okay. Yeah.
So
it's
like,
pretty weird edge
so
case.
like it's pretty specific. It's pretty, or maybe it's like with an external mouse. Maybe that's what it is.
And
like
if your name is Amanda, it also
and if
does
your
not.
name, There's
not
like
gonna work.
15 other Amandas who have the same setup.
Yeah,
We're
they're
all
all just
experiencing this issue.
the GitHub issues is just full of Amandas. What the fuck is going on here?
Amanda. Yeah.
Thanks for the help, Amanda. No, you're welcome, Amanda.
Yeah. So yeah,
that
so
sucks.
this is yeah. So I mean, it was like whew, and it was one of those things that it's like I was using ChatGPT. I was trying to figure it out, and it was like giving me answers about how my older monitors can't properly interpret the what is that new color format? Starts with an O.
Yeah, OK FRG or something. OK,
Something like that.
KG.
And it had me fooled. It had me going down this other path. And then I was like, wait, but it's not just colors. It's also underlines. It's like anything hovered. And eventually it was like, oh, well, I'm like, I give up. I don't know what's going on. And it was like, oh, well, I can help you write up a concise bug ticket or bug submission if you think that'll help. And that's when I was like, oh, I should go check out GitHub to see if there's any other issues about this. And bing, it was right there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Crazy.
Man, that is wild that you encountered that.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you don't let it dissuade you.
Tarnish,
I still think it's great, but whatever. You can use whatever you wish.
Oh, absolutely.
Tailwind
for sure.
or
And I
otherwise.
mean, it hasn't dissuaded me from using it because, like I said, it had like some stuff, like it's literally 4 or 5 lines to add to that app.css.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal for the site that I'm making. I can properly develop it. I can still work, but it's like any sites I experience in the wild, this could become an issue.
Yeah, it makes me wonder how many people would have tried Tailwind and be like, what's the big deal? This is like, and not see all of the fancy
hovers
stuff
don't
that it
work.
was doing. Yeah. And conclude, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, maybe. So you know what? Maybe. So in the live description, I might link to the GitHub issue because it has the lines of code to add. Mike, maybe start putting it in your app.css.
Yeah, I wonder if I should. Wow. Good tip.
Just for me.
Yeah, sure. Anything to make various Amanda's experiences better. Yeah.
Just this one.
Yeah, okay.
This is the only one I care about.
The only one I care about, right. Okay. Well, be sure to look up for any viewers here. We have an interview with Adam Wathan. I don't think you were with us at the time, were you?
No, I think that was
just me and
before
Sean,
me.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we interviewed him quite early on in the development of Tailwind, but we had Adam on the show. It was a very popular show, and he says a lot about where he was headed at the time. This was years ago now, so people dig that up. Check it out. Maybe we'll put it in the show notes here of this video.
I can do that too. Cool.
Okay.
I'm done.
Well, all right. Well, that was good. Sorry Sean couldn't be here, but I'm glad you viewers could watch us.
Yes.
Tune in.
Thank you, viewer, for joining.
If you have any feedback, as usual, comments, like and subscribe. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.